Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update, sponsored by Tax Network USA, America's #1 choice for tax resolution. Please go to tnusa.com/bill or call 800-245-6000. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It's Friday, June 21st, 2024. Here's what's happening today in America. Coin has been flipped. The Safe for Kids Act, women in the draft, and busiest travel day yet. That's all coming up. And Bill's going to be here with your message of the day. But first, CNN has flipped a coin. And who won the coin toss? Joe Biden. So his team gets to decide which podium he stands behind. The one on the left or the one on the right? He chose the one on our right. Now, because he chose the podium, Trump's team gets to choose if they want to go first or second in the closing statement. And he chose last. How frustratingly prepackaged and pre-planned is every single second of this whole thing. Joe Biden is at Camp David up in the mountains to prepare and rest. His team says they may go right from Camp David to Atlanta. Trump, meanwhile, has been meeting with potential vice presidential candidates, and they've been talking about how to best hit Biden on the economy, crime, and the border. The governor of New York has signed the Safe for Kids Act. She says our kids are in distress. Quote, they're not living carefree lives because they're being held captive to powerful forces outside their own control. Algorithms that are intentionally addictive. This bill requires social media companies to restrict these addictive feeds to users under 18. It would ban notifications from social media platforms between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m. without parental consent, and it would require new age verification and parental consent tools that are yet to be established by the state's attorney general. Senate Democrats have added language to the annual defense authorization bill to require women to register for the draft. Many Republicans have said no and have gone on the attack mode against Democrats in campaign ads for even suggesting such a thing. Sam Brown is a Senate candidate Republican in Nevada, an Army veteran who has burned scars all over his face from an IED in Afghanistan. He has an ad that says, "Look at my face. This is the high cost of war. Amy and I volunteered to serve, and we honor all who serve. But forcing America's daughters to register for the draft is unacceptable. Shame on Jackie Rosen." Friday, June 14th, was the second busiest travel day ever at our nation's airports. Just under 3 million people traveled. But the previous high was just last month, and the third highest ever was just last week. Therefore, experts predict that this 4th of July will break that record, get over 3 million in the airports. AAA is predicting that 71 million people will travel more than 50 miles this 4th of July. Bill O'Reilly has your message of the day. Next.
If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. This protection plan is at an all-time low in price. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Friday, few presidential debates have changed the course of history. But next week, the Biden-Trump lip-off could do that. In 1960, Vice President Nixon lost a debate to Senator John Kennedy because of optics. Nixon looked jumpy and sweaty on TV. JFK was cool and calm. That ended 8 years of Republican power. Next week, a feeble President Biden will engage an unpredictable Donald Trump. The nation will be watching more than listening. Everyone knows Biden governs to the far left and Trump to the right. Nothing they will say is going to change that. But the exposition will test Biden's stamina and ability to articulate. Should he falter badly, I believe he'll be forced by his own party to retire. opening the nomination to another Democrat not named Kamala. When the display is over, both sides will claim victory. That always happens. A draw is a Biden win. The good news is the folks at home, as they say, will make the call, not the pro-left media. The post-debate polling will be fascinating to see, and it could be decisive in the vote coming up in early November. We will have the best, most fair coverage right here. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Let's go to the mail. We got Keith, concierge member. Keith gets direct access to me, and I hope it's working out for you, Keith. Hope we're helping you. I simply cannot for the life of me understand why President Biden would take a chance opening the border and having terrorists enter, because the progressive movement believes white patriarchy is worse than terrorism. That's why. It's crazy, but it's true, as Christopher Cross once said. Lee, concierge member, thank you, Lee. Unfortunately, with the president in cognitive decline, does he even know that his policies are hurting the USA? It would be logical to assume that he only knows what he's told. That's what I believe. I know I'm not giving him a pass, but does he understand what's going on? Does Joe Biden go, oh, Joe, 8 terrorists were arrested with links to ISIS last week? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. James Droba, Ida, Oklahoma. You have said many times, O'Reilly, that Biden is home studying for the debate. If he doesn't have the questions, how do you study? I explained that, but I wanted to read your letter to show that many Americans are very convinced that Joe Biden will have the questions in advance. If that ever happens, CNN would have to go off the air if we're exposed. Ruby Hines, Bellingham, Washington. Do you think President Trump should confront Jake Tapper about his reporting on the Russian collusion story during the debate? Maybe if Tapper gets wise or something like that, you hold that back. But I wouldn't lead with it. Bradley Rayfield, Apache Junction, Arizona. What kind of silly made-up holiday is Juneteenth anyway? You're misguided here, Bradley. Juneteenth is a serious holiday. Slavery was the worst thing to ever happen to the United States. The worst. And the day that slavery ended for everyone should be honored. In a moment, something you might not know. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 82 years ago today, German General Erwin Rommel captured an Allied garrison in northern Libya. The victory solidified his reputation as one of the greatest tank commanders in history. Here is the story behind the Desert Fox. Born November 1891, young Erwin served with distinction in World War I. He met Adolf Hitler in 1934. The Nazi had recently consolidated power in Germany as Führer, the leader. And he was, Hitler, the commander-in-chief of the army. The Führer requested that Rommel command his personal escort battalion, which accompanied the dictator whenever he left Germany. Rommel served in that post through the Nazi invasion of Poland in 1939, during which he was promoted to the rank of Major General. After numerous victories in Europe, he was dispatched to North Africa. In the summer of 1942, Rommel's Panzer Division attacked the British camp in Tobruk, Libya. The port city was needed by both the Axis and the Allied powers to control the flow of supplies across the Mediterranean Sea. On June 21st, Rommel, now known as the Desert Fox, captured the town. He took 30,000 British prisoners, 2,000 tanks, 5,000 tons of food, and 2,000 tons of fuel. And here's something else you might not know. By the spring of 1944, Rommel had become disillusioned with the Nazis and critical of Adolf Hitler's leadership. That was a death sentence. Though no evidence exists that Rommel ever plotted against Hitler, the Fuhrer believed he was. So on October 14, 1944, two Nazi generals were dispatched to Rommel's home. He was given a choice: face a show trial and public humiliation, or commit suicide. He chose the latter. The once great Desert Fox was taken to a car, driven to the outskirts of his small village, then given vials of cyanide. Back after this. Are you overwhelmed with back taxes or unfiled returns? With 88,000 newly hired IRS agents, that agency has increased enforcement, issuing millions of pay-up notices this year alone. So don't face the IRS alone. Tax Network USA can help you. As the nation's premier tax relief firm, they've negotiated more than $1 billion in tax relief for their clients. Services include penalty forgiveness, hardship programs, and offer in-compromise solutions. So are you behind on taxes? Whether it's $10,000 or $10 million, they can help. Protect your financial security. Contact Tax Network USA for strategic advice on reducing or eliminating your tax debt. To schedule a complimentary consultation, please call 800-245-6000, or you can visit tnusa.com. Don't let the IRS control your life. Empower yourself with Tax Network USA support. Take charge of your financial future. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.